Everything okay? Do remember to let us know which areas of the car you'd like us to develop using the laptop. I'll leave that with you.
Well, I said it before, and I'll say it again, Chris. No one cares. No one cares anymore. It's episode 138, guys, and welcome back to the F1 2017 career mode. We're here for the Mexican Grand Prix in Season 7, but yeah, at this point, Chris, I really couldn't care less about the resource points, especially since any of the ones I would spend anyway would come in by the end of the season, so that's why I'm not going to bother. So we're going to move on. So, yeah, we're here at the Mexican Grand Prix after a pretty tough race last time out, I guess. I mean, USA is usually a tough Grand Prix on this game anyway against the AI, so I expect Mexico to be a little bit easier, but generally it seems like lately the Force Indias and the Red Bulls have been picking up a lot of pace, especially the Force Indias, and it really almost looked like the back end of Season 5 when I was driving for them with Sergio Perez. Like, they've looked really comfortable. That car looks really OP at the moment, especially in qualifying, and once it gets a lead in the race, it tends to hold it quite well. So we're going to have another tough time here, maybe challenging for the top spots, but of course, if you've been following along with this season so far, we've got a very comfy position in the championship. I just need to try and be as consistent as possible, not have any major blow-up moments, and have races where I'm not scoring points. Basically, technically, I think one of you guys or a few of you guys let me know in the comments below of last episode, which was just over a week ago. So be sure to go check that one out of the USA Grand Prix before you continue on with this, guys. But I think there was the maths was if I win this Grand Prix, actually, I would win the championship already and make it a dead championship. I don't know how likely that is going to be. We'll have to see, because lately it's been seeming like our very OP Mercedes car has been just drifting a tad little bit back in pace-wise. I mean, engine-wise, we're still probably the best cream of the crop, and our engine definitely is quite OP in a straight line, but in the corners and the balance of the car, it appears to be going a little bit backwards, and lately, I just haven't been feeling one with it, and that was especially the case in practice. Haven't driven this game in quite a few days, and definitely felt a little bit rusty around the Mexican Grand Prix circuit, having only, the last time I did it was for co-op, which was quite a few weeks ago. So definitely a little bit of rust to kind of kick off there in practice and before we get into qualifying, but I'm sure we'll still be there in the top 10 fight at least, because the car still is there for us to do the job. Overcast conditions at qualifying, so that may help us or hinder us. I'm not too really sure if our car responds well or badly to hot or cold conditions like it does in real life, but we'll make the best of it and just try and get as far up the grid as we can, and hopefully this time round beat our teammate at least, and then we'll see how we go against the Ferrari guys. Obviously, the last two episodes, speaking of Ferrari, the entire season I was talking about trying to beat them, trying to get that contract. I'm going to be honest, I kind of given up with that position, and we'll just try and do our best for the season, really. And I don't have very high hopes of anything major happening at the end of this season. And definitely at the moment, I'm considering the future of the vanilla career mode as a whole. I think it's almost come to its course in terms of how much different experience I can get from the game. Unfortunately, I think for all of us, we were hoping for a bit more variety as the seasons went on. But once you get through about 5 different teams in 5 different seasons, unfortunately, the AI don't seem to be upgrading enough to have a really mixed up bag running order here in Season 7. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But anyway, through qualifying, I went through the first flying lap, wasn't good enough. Second flying lap, actually a bit of a weird run. We went twice there, you saw, and we had to basically set 2 times on the same set of tyres, and that did let us beat our teammate Lewis Hamilton, but we were beaten both by both Ferraris, Vettel and Kimi Raikkonen. So that was really unfortunate, and just shows actually what I was saying about our car going a little bit backwards, that both me and Lewis were beaten by both the Force Indias, both Red Bulls and both Ferrari cars, and I only just about pipped Hamilton on the second run there. We're going to start on a bit more worn tyres than I wanted to, obviously having done 2 runs on that set of Ultras at the end there, just to be just ahead of my teammates. So not a great start to this Grand Prix actually in terms of strategy. We'll have to see what opens up for us, but let's see, let's go to the full grid and then we'll see what we can do in the race.
Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. A fantastic effort from Esteban Ocon yesterday puts him on pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Ricciardo, Vettel, Kimi Raikkonen and Verstappen, a Mercedes, Hamilton, Palmer and Nico Hülkenberg, Alonso, Massa, Romain Grosjean and Sainz, Van Dorn, Kvyat, Kevin Magnussen and Pascal Wehrlein. Ericsson and Lance Stroll rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Alright, so here we are in our familiar P7 slot, almost acting like Nico Hulkenberg at the moment here with two on the trot with P7. And obviously a Kota didn't exactly pan out for us in terms of a lucky position slot with the tyre wear being quite nasty around there. And here at Mexico, it's going to be even worse, especially with that Sector 2. It really does put a number on the tyres and then also just the atmosphere and the nature of the circuit. So at the moment, the default strategy is a 2-stop with 2 pretty long stints on super softs, which I'm looking at right now, and it seems like a bit of a stretch, especially with that first stint of ultras going quite long as well. Remember, I talked about just before, we put 2 flying laps, and then 2 laps, the in lap and the out lap, on this set of tyres. So we're going to start off with pretty high tyre wear, and definitely more tyre wear than the AI around us. So at the moment, you can see there, I've confirmed onto the 3-stop with 2 sets of ultras and 2 sets of supers, and we'll kind of see how it goes once again on the fly. We'll kind of see how the tyres pan out, but I definitely don't expect these tyres to go too much longer than about 6 laps odd. So let's just see how it goes though as we go now to round number 18 of the season 7. 36 laps of the Mexican Grand Prix ahead of us. 5 lights are out and we're underway. A lot of wheel spin then in second and third gears. We go up through and Verstappen with a good start. It looks like Ricciardo bogging down a little bit in third place there. Perez had a poor start off pole position, I think that was, as Ocon's up into first place. Verstappen trying to go down the inside of both Ferrari cars. We're kind of squeezed out and we're in no man's land. Got nowhere to go, so just had to take that nice and easy into turn 1. And now you've got Verstappen, Ricciardo and Vettel 3 wide. A little bit of contact with Verstappen and Vettel, and Raikkonen has been squeezed down to turn 2. Vettel squeezes me onto the grass. It's close stuff, but we're going to just about get it into P5. But ahead of us, the 2 Red Bulls fighting hammer and tong. Ricciardo on the inside, Verstappen on the outside there. Oh, it's very, very close between the 2 teammates. Meanwhile, the other 2 teammates, the Force Indies, are working in tandem and working well together for that dominant 1-2 at the moment, as they've already got a gap on the mini-map, you can clearly see, to that third place of Daniel Ricciardo. Verstappen at the moment having to just settle for P4, and it might be for P5 soon, because here we come, and look at that, the amount of speed we're getting there with this slipstream, with the engine power we've got this season, with the upgraded engine upgrades we've done earlier on in this season, and that just looked a bit too easy, to be honest. No DRS, remember, just rip schmicks. And that's what I was talking about earlier. We may be poor in the corners, chassis-wise. We're losing out to Red Bull and Force India, and at the moment you would say Ferrari as well in qualifying. But on the straight, especially in race conditions, our car is like a bullet in a straight line. So at least we've got one thing going for us. But you can see now we moved on all the way to lap 6, and I had hoped to maybe catch Ricciardo because we caught Verstappen so fast, but Ricciardo got out my DRS and just waltzed away, trying his best to catch the Force Indies. And really you can see I'm looking more behind at Kimi Raikkonen as my tyres start to go off a little bit on the rear end. They're already 36% worn on lap 6, and by lap 7 I'm losing way too much time. I'm losing literally about 1 second a lap now as we go through to the end of lap 7 onto a lap 8, and we're onto our first pit stop here onto a set of super soft tyres. So eagle-eyed viewers might see that I've swapped that round, on track. I thought last minute, let's swap this. So instead of going into a set of ultras, which was going to be the case on our 3-stop, we've gone to supers, and so this will open me up. I could potentially switch this to a default 2-stop like our engineers wanted us to on the screen of the strategy, or we'll do the 3-stop, just switching around the tyres where we put them and ending maybe on a set of ultra softs with lower fuel. So gives me a bit of open space to work with, especially with the pace difference on the tyre. When the tyre's starting to wear off, I need that just to see, maybe I need to make the 2-stop work to have any chance of finishing high in this Grand Prix, because the pace of Ricciardo and the 2 Force Indies was pretty damn scary in terms of they just really just got away from me so quickly. I had nothing to answer for it, and so now you can see we're closing up on Lance Stroll, obviously yet to make a pit stop in this Grand Prix, it looks like. So closing up pretty damn fast and overtaking him on the inside. You can see having to compromise my line a tad though as we enter the stadium section, and with a lock-up as well. So at the moment traffic's going to be the only issue for me, as it will cost me just a few little tenths here and there, but they all kind of add up in the grand scheme of things. So I want to try and make this pass now on Van Dorn as fast as we can around the outside. Have to give him the room though, because we've not made it yet. Van Dorn on soft tyres, so he's going long, perhaps even trying a very bold 1-stop. That'd be kind of crazy, because Mexico definitely has too much high tyre wear for that, but you never know. He's on the soft tyres, and usually most of the strategies don't really involve the softs. Most of the time it's usually just the ultras and soft tyres, super soft tyres used, but now we're up into P10 it will be on lap 11, and now coming out of the pit lane is Kimi Raikkonen. It'll be an easy pass, but you can see right there, Raikkonen was behind us before, and even though we tried the undercut, because we lost some time overtaking Stroll, overtaking Van Dorn, Raikkonen able to now try and fight us a little bit there, and he came out ahead of us fair and square on the pit stop. We just have to re-overtake him basically with the high speed we had, having obviously come down from the last corner rather than out the pit lane. And to my surprise, still lap 12, we're catching up to cars who are yet to pit here. Pascal Wehrlein in a Sauber, clearly out of position. We're going to have DRS rich mix, and the DRS lap opens then at the line, and here we go, gaining even faster than we did when we overtook the Red Bull car of Verstappen. But already with only 12 laps gone, 13 laps now, still plenty to go, but I can already tell I think the maximum position we're aiming for is P4, because I think the two Force Indias, they're pretty damn comfortable, and I think Ricciardo also will be, unless Ricciardo's doing a 3-stop and we actually commit to this potential 2-stop. That might give us a little fighting chance, but even then it's going to be tough because we're on lap 17 at the moment. I'm not getting away from Raikkonen, who surely should be being hit with a bit of tyre wear with his ultra soft tyres. Obviously he's gone for 2 sets of ultras, so maybe he's trying a 3-stop, which kind of alleviates pressure from him later on in the race. But at the moment he's still right up our gearbox, not seeming to be affected by too much tyre wear, and my super softs aren't performing too well. And at the moment Raikkonen does fight us a little bit. We're a bit cautious in the turn 1, but Raikkonen is on the inside. He's got his nose in, and you can see the compromising line I have to take into turn 3, and that chicane in the opening part of the lap there, and Raikkonen not helping me at all, and we're not helping each other really to get on this Grand Prix. And that's kind of giving Alonso up there in P4 at the moment some breathing space. Alonso on soft tyres doing a fantastic job to go all the way to lap 19 at the moment. And you can see now, for the first time this season, it's taken 18 rounds, and this is the first time I'm seeing any kind of wear on my any part of my engine really. This one is the biggest point, the internal combustion engine. But yeah, I talked about as we got some yellow flags. So speaking about engine wear, looks like behind us we got an issue, and Kimi Raikkonen is the one out of the Grand Prix. So there you go, if you're waiting for that little bingo scorecard of a Ferrari having an issue in my vanilla career, there you go, you can tick that one off the list. But ironically, speaking about engine wear, yeah, as I was saying, we've been trying to go as long as we can without having to use a brand new 5th column on our engine components. I still don't think we will have to. I think we'll be able to go to the end of the season without getting any kind of penalty for engine wear. But at the moment, this is the first time where that might be affecting my performance. I don't know. I might be over exaggerating it, but Raikkonen was right up our shaft before he retired there, and just so happens our engine started to go yellow. So maybe a little bit of a factor coming in. Maybe for these last few rounds, it will be a case of me just trying to do the best job I can, whilst my engine starts to, really feel the wear now of an entire season under its belt. But anyways, as I've been discussing that, on lap 22, we've made our second pit stop and our final one. As you can clearly see, we're on another set of super soft tyres, and I'm going to be taking this to the end now, because we should be able to get semi-comfortable to the end. I mean, those tyres at that first set of super soft tyres were getting really quite worn, and weren't feeling too great, very second-hand, and that will be probably the case by the time we get to the end of this Grand Prix. But we'll just be able to get the 2-stop done, and so that will give us the best chance just to really remain in the position we're in, because I was definitely feeling the pressure from even Sebastian Vettel after Kimi Raikkonen retired. Now you can see for the second time now, a bit of deja vu, overtaking Verstappen here, getting a little bit too close and familiar with Max's rear end there, and almost slamming to the back of him, a la Ricciardo, almost, as we definitely did make some contact there, but no kind of warning that we made a collision with Verstappen. But I definitely felt that on my wheel, on the force feedback, I can tell you that much, and I think visually you can see I nearly lopped off a bit my front wing potentially on Verstappen there, but we made the pass eventually. But kind of strange almost, because Ricciardo has been nowhere to be seen. He's been very, very comfortable up in P3, and then Verstappen, ever since I overtook him, he's just been going backwards and backwards, because I don't know what on earth he was doing at that part of the circuit in the Grand Prix. He's like way out of sync, at least of my pit stop strategy. And now we're catching up to some more unsynced cars here who are yet to make their second pit stop of the afternoon, down the inside of K-Mag there. A little bit close on the inside. They're doing a bit of sliding on the apex, and now we're catching up to his teammate Romain Grosjean's move on to lap 29. We'll get the DRS rich mix, and so this will be an easy pass, just like Baku just gone. It's going to be a nice kind of drive down the motorway. We're going to swoop to the left-hand side. Grosjean, no match for the straight line speed we've got, and we're up into P6, and so now the last car to try and overtake is going to be Fernando Alonso on track at the moment. We've got some blue flags as well, so it doesn't hold up Alonso too much though, because Verline again having to overtake him. Palmer's the car behind us, but into turn 1, Alonso at the moment ahead, but you know, the McLaren Honda's not been upgraded too much in this career mode so far, so you would hope that I can overtake him, but actually to my surprise, through the middle part of the lap, Alonso is actually keeping ahead of us, so his chassis at least is good enough to stay ahead. So as we get to the end of lap 33, just remaining patient, we've got some more blue flags here, and that's maybe going to be quite awkward for Alonso to go down the inside. We're going to try and follow him through. It's Stroll there taking the lift off, and we just about make it through. I had a very, very bad idea of maybe Stroll pinching us up to the apex and just letting Alonso through, so that would have been great, but now we've held it through, pretty much kept the same gap as we go through the last corner there. Now we will have DRS this time round, and we're a lot closer. Rich mix also available as we've got a bit more fuel to burn here as we go down this straight. Even though he's kept up for now, I think it's inevitable now in lap 34. We're going to fake to the left, go to the right, and it's going to be a nice, bold, little over-dramatic move for up to P5, and Hulkenberg is the one in P4 on soft tyres. So Hulkenberg, fair play to him. He's done a madness, and I don't think I'm actually going to be able to catch him. So I was talking about getting P4. I think maximum is P5 here, because by the time we get to the end of the Grand Prix, confirmation there, Sergio Perez has won his home Grand Prix, I think, and I think it's a 1-2 for Force India, but more importantly, Hulkenberg somehow has managed to pull off a great P4 on soft, involving his two-stop with a pair of soft tyres. So I think he might have gone ultra softs and just had some lightning pace on that second set of ultras. I'm guessing that's how he's kind of got ahead of us, because I didn't see him this entire race. He just kind of popped up in P4 out of nowhere. So a little bit annoying there, and just definitely confirming what I was talking about. The Mercedes car, although we've still got that great engine, chassis-wise, aero-wise, we haven't had an upgrade in like a while. I think the last upgrade we had was the British Grand Prix. So our car definitely going a little bit backwards, but there you go. Sergio Perez, once again in this career mode, for the third time now, I think, has won his home Grand Prix. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure he's won his home Grand Prix 3 times now in this career mode. Obviously something that he hasn't been able to, unfortunately, replicate in real life, but fair play, and good on him for doing it in the game at least. And with that, he does close up a little bit in the championship there. It's another great 1-2 for Force India, though, and that does mean they are ahead of us now in the Constructors. How do you like that? So, I mean, I'm not too bothered, because as I've made it very clear this entire season, I do not give a rat's ass about the team, really. Mercedes are kind of growing quite bitter of them, but Force India, like I mentioned at the very start of this episode, just like in Season 5 when I was driving for them, they're looking pretty damn OP at the end of this season. They're on a good roll of momentum at the moment. But guys, that's going to be the end of the episode then. So if you did enjoy it, hit that like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you are new around here, do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. I've been over. Hope you enjoy the rest of the day, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.